Right now, it is back to a powerful Category 4 storm. It's expected to barrel through the Windward Islands later in the day, bringing violent winds and flooding. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada are especially at risk. Now, Beryl's arrival marks an active start to the Atlantic hurricane season that really just began a few weeks ago at this point. We have team coverage tracking this dangerous storm. But before I head to the CNN Weather Center, I want to go to Havana and join CNN's Patrick Ottman. So, Patrick, how are officials and residents in these communities preparing?
You know, the really terrifying thing about the storm as we tracked it over the weekend is on Saturday it was just a tropical storm, which while deadly, many people in this region have experienced and lived through, and maybe many times don't think it's that big of a deal. To have it explode into now a Category 4 hurricane just in the space of 24 hours over the weekend is really very frightening, because if you are in the Windward Islands, there really isn't a way to evacuate easily out of the storm's path, and so you have to hunker down. People over the weekend were filling up their cars with gas, were making last-minute food runs, and then trying to find higher ground where they can shelter during this devastating storm. But you know, when you hear about a Category 4 hurricane or Category 5 hurricane, they use the term catastrophic damage. And that is just a very, very different kind of storm, because you have to be in a building that is constructed to withstand this kind of storm. Most people will lose their roofs, and as the storm rages across the Caribbean, potentially impacting Haiti, Jamaica, and then at this point projected to go into the Yucatan Peninsula, it's going to cause a lot of damage. And of course, it's still very, very early in the hurricane season, and yet we're already seeing a major hurricane like Beryl, which is going to cause a tremendous amount of damage.
I mean, just seeing the path and the strengthening of it, incredibly concerning. Patrick Ottman, thank you so much. I want to get a sense on where this is heading next. So I want to bring in Elisa Rafa from the CNN Weather Center. I mean, where do we expect, what is the path that is expected here?
It's going to basically cut across the Caribbean Sea as we go through the next couple of days, but it's back up to that Category 4 intensity after briefly coming down to a Category 3, only because it was going through a restructuring cycle we call an eye wall replacement cycle. And you can see where it was clear yesterday, kind of clouds up and then opens up again. And that's where it is gaining strength yet again, and potentially causing some catastrophic conditions possible as far as the wind damage is concerned, from islands like St. Vincent down towards Trinidad and Tobago. You can see Category 4 storm, 130-mile-per-hour winds, now sitting only 70 miles east there of Grenada. And you can see the eye wall continuing. Look at the intense winds, that heavy rain. Showers have already been lashing parts of Barbados this morning. We've already had gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Their winds right now are sustained near 43 miles per hour. When you get the kind of winds, the way that this cuts across with such an intense hurricane, that's where you get storm surge. We're looking at up to 6 to 9 feet of storm surge and 3 to 6 inches of rain. Here's that track. It maintains that Category 4 strength as it kind of skirts just south of a lot of these islands. A tropical storm watch is in effect for the Dominican Republic and Haiti, the south side there, and then it cuts across the Caribbean Sea and eventually makes it towards Mexico by the end of the week. The Yucatan Peninsula can see some wind and rain out of this. And we're talking about rapid intensification because these ocean temperatures are wildly warm. We're talking middle and upper 80s. This is more characteristic for late August and early September, which is why the season so early is acting like it's at peak, because its fuel ingredients is at peak. And that's why it was able to intensify so quickly over the weekend. We find that that's a trend as our oceans continue to get warmer. Omar?
CNN's Elisa Rafa, thank you so much.